In the village of Abengourou, surrounded by lush farmlands and vast plantations, lived a family struggling under the weight of poverty and misfortune. The head of this family was Koffi, a man often described as shameless and poor. His wife, Ajua, was a simple, calm, and understanding woman who held the family together. They had 3 children: Labute, their eldest daughter, approaching 40 and a talented seamstress but who never received any clients; Cynthia, her younger sister, who only had a primary school completion certificate and had failed in business due to Koffi's past mistakes; and Kouame, who held a polytechnic degree and worked at a private school that owed him a salary, struggling to support his own family. One hot afternoon, the children decided to visit the local herbalist, hoping to uncover the source of their unending misfortune. The herbalist, a wise old man with years of experience in the village, welcomed them into his hut. "Talk to me, children," began the herbalist. "What brings you here today?" Labute stepped forward, her voice trembling with both hope and despair. "We have suffered for so long, Baba. Our family is poor and unlucky. We need to know why." The herbalist nodded thoughtfully and closed his eyes, murmuring old incantations. After a long silence, he opened his eyes and looked at them solemnly. "Your father has an illegitimate child. This child must be found and brought back into the family for your fortune to change." The children exchanged shocked looks. Cynthia, always skeptical, asked, "How can this be true, Baba? We've never heard of this." The herbalist sighed. "The past holds many secrets. Find this child, and you will find the key to your prosperity." Determined to uncover the truth, the siblings confronted their father later in the evening. "Father," began Kouame, "we visited the herbalist today. He told us you had an illegitimate child." Koffi's face turned pale and he looked away, ashamed. Ajua, sitting quietly in the corner, looked at her husband with sad eyes. "It's true," admitted Koffi, his voice barely a whisper. "Many years ago, before I met your mother, I was with a woman named Madeline. She claimed she was pregnant, but I didn't believe her. I left her and never returned. La beauté sais de ned. We must find this child, father. It's the only way to break this curse." The next day, the siblings began their search for Madeline. They soon discovered that she was married to a man named Adam and had a son named Innocent, now a wealthy ambassador in one of the European countries. Convinced that Innocent was their lost brother, they sold their only plot of land to pay for legal proceedings to prove their claim. In the courtroom, tensions were high as the judge ordered a DNA test to determine the truth. Weeks passed in agonizing anticipation until the results finally arrived. Innocent was not Koffi's son. After the verdict, Innocent, feeling deeply offended and humiliated, decided to sue Koffi's family for defamation and tarnishing his reputation. As a popular figure, the scandal had caused significant damage to his name. Before the case progressed, Madeline sat Innocent down and explained the whole story. "Innocent, my son," she began, "there's something you need to understand about Koffi and why he might have thought you were his son." Innocent listened attentively as Madeline recounted the past. "When Koffi and I were dating, he dreamed of continuing his studies but had no money to do so. I sold the only piece of land my father had left me to fund him. After his graduation, we had an introduction ceremony, but Koffi changed. He barely spoke to me and started avoiding me. Worried, I spoke to my best friend, and together we came up with a plan. We thought if I told Koffi I was pregnant, it might make him reconsider." Madeline sighed deeply, her eyes filled with old pain. "When I told him I was pregnant, he lost his mind. He called me all sorts of names and broke up with me, saying he couldn't marry someone who wasn't educated. He left, and a week later he married another woman. By then your father Adam had been pursuing me for over a year. I agreed to marry him after Koffi left. 2 months later I became pregnant with you. Innocent's face softened. Thank you, mother, for sharing this with me. And thank you for your perseverance and kindness despite everything. Madeline smiled sadly. It's the past, my son. We can't change it, but we can learn from it. Moved by his mother's story, Innocent decided to drop the lawsuit against Koffi's family. He realized that Koffi's family had acted out of desperation and a desire to escape poverty. He chose to forgive them, understanding the depth of human weakness and the power of forgiveness. Back in Abengourou, Koffi's family returned home. Their hopes shattered but their determination strengthened. Cynthia, and Kouame knew their journey was far from over. They would continue to struggle for their family's future, knowing that the truth, no matter how painful, was a necessary step towards healing and prosperity. As the sun set over the village, casting a golden glow on the farmlands, Koffi gathered his family around him. We may not have found the answer we were looking for, he said, but we have each other. And together, we will find a way to overcome our hardships. Ajua nodded, smiling gently at her children. We are strong. We are family. And we will overcome.